everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade. Welcome to another Scaring Myself Shitless SMS Halloween edition of Wade Watches, where today I'm going to be reviewing a movie, yet another movie that's still in theaters, BeetleJuice. BeetleJuice, which just came out last weekend, directed by the legendary Tim Burton and starring the equally legendary Michael Keaton, along with Winona Ryder, Jenna Ortega, Monica Bellucci, Justin Theroux, and Catherine O'Hara. And so the first thing to say about this is that I guess I don't think anyone was curious, but I guess just to let you guys know, I did watch the original Beetlejuice in preparation for this. If you want to know my quick thoughts, I didn't do a video on it. I just did an Instagram post. You can head over to my Instagram. I'll put the link in the description, all that good stuff, so you can see my quick thoughts on that. Long story short, I just wasn't over the moon about it as much as a lot of other people are. There are a lot of people out there who rank it among Burton's best. I'm just not one of those people, though. I thought it was it had kind of like a cute little quality to it. It was a cute little story that is bizarre and supernatural and ghoulish as it was ultimately, it had its heart in the right place. It was a cute little story. But I just wasn't over the moon about it. So I just kind of went into this honestly just to have an excuse to do yet another kind of like early Halloween SMS video just to add it to the collection. It was a sequel to the original Beetlejuice. It's obviously going to involve the supernatural, but also with the small hope that maybe I would like it more than the original, because hey, you never know. But I'm sad to say that I like this even less than I like the original Beetlejuice. This was just that typical textbook case of sequelitis in which a film has like five separate storylines that each could have been its own movie, but instead of doing that, it tries to like bunch them all together, make them all interconnect, and it tries and fails at that. So you just end up with a very jumbled, rather convoluted film, and that's what we have here. Oh my goodness, I can't even I can't even. So firstly, we have, and this isn't given, don't worry, no major whatever plot details. I don't think there's any really major like reveals or twist in Beetlejuice anyway, but don't worry, I won't say too much about the plot. You guys know how I roll. But we have something about let's count them up, let's sound them off. We have some emerging information on how Beetlejuice's backstory, how he came to be Beetlejuice. We have a story where an old flame of his is coming back, and she's wreaking havoc in the afterlife, in the underworld. We have the return of the Dietz family. Lydia Dietz, Winona Ryder, is all grown up. She has an strained relationship with her daughter because of the strained relationship in turn that she had with her husband, Jenna Ortega's father. We have a wedding. There's kind of this smarmy new love interest that Winona Ryder has, who wants to marry her right away. Ooh, suspicious. Something's going on there. There's something else. Oh yes, we have Willem Dafoe as kind of an underworld detective type. He's trying to figure out what's going on with Monica Bellucci, why and how she's able to cause all this trouble in the underworld. And finally, I think this is the last one. There might have been something else I missed, but we also have that blossoming young romance, because Jenna Ortega is of course a little bit of an outsider, rather kind of a lone wolf, but she comes across a boy in the new neighborhood, and they seem to hit it off, but there's something going on with him as well. So it's just all of these things, all of these just like jumble plots that each could have easily have been just an individual film within itself. Because I'll give the original Beetlejuice this. Like I said, I'm not too over the moon about that film. I just thought it was, you know, good, decent. Certainly not my favorite Tim Burton film, but good and decent. But I will say this: it had a singular, easy to follow plot. The whole thing was there was this young couple who had just bought a house. They die in a tragic car accident, and then these kind of new kind of because this was the 80s, kind of like yuppie like people come in, and you know, they want to buy the house, and this young couple, they're like, we don't want these people in our house, and they try and scare them away. That's the story to Beetlejuice, and then they enlist the help of the man himself to try and do that. Only to realize that he's too mischievous, and they got to stop him. So not too convoluted, not too complicated, very easy and singular to easy singular plot to follow. So I really don't understand why they went this direction with the sequel. The only thing I can think of is, like I said, it's just that classic case of sequelitis. We got to give the people more. We gotta give them everything, because that's what people want from a sequel: bigger, better, longer. And like, you can do that successfully. You can certainly have a multi-layered story where there's a lot of small stories interconnecting that might, you know, be interconnected, or even just like kind of separate stories within a film, but you have to make them gel well. You have to make an easy, coherent plot that people, or plots that people can follow. And I just felt like Beetlejuice didn't do that, because this movie is just over an hour and a half, clocks in at an hour and 44 minutes, and that's just not enough time to attempt to tell all these stories that they want to tell here. It's like, wait, we're doing this, now we're there. It was just kind of like bam, 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 rapid, 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 and I just wasn't digging on it. However, this movie is certainly not without its positives. Let me be, you know, state the obvious and say this movie looks great. It's a Tim Burton film shot in 2024, so I'm not surprised by this, but I still give credit where credit is due. It's a beautiful looking Tim Burton film. I still love the look of, I still appreciate, you know, them bringing the look and the aesthetic of the original Beetlejuice film into the modern era. It looks better than ever. Michael Keaton as the man himself, just like with the previous film, he's not in this movie a whole lot. I think that's kind of somewhat of a misconception that he was the main character in the original film. He really wasn't. He was pretty much the side character, and the same can kind of be said here. He's in it a bit longer, it felt like, than he was in that original, but he's still like treated as the side character here as well. But every scene that Michael Keaton is in, you know, he still has the energy that he had in the 80s. Really good scene stealer. Not as funny as he was in the original, just in my personal opinion. Not all the jokes with him landed, but still really energetic in every scene he was in. And that's, you know, I just also hit on something. This movie just wasn't. I'm not a huge fan of the original Beetlejuice, but it just felt like this one was trying a little bit too hard to be humorous, and whereas in that first film that I watched, it was just kind of like, you know, kind of natural. It didn't come off as forced. Here, the humor definitely came off as forced at times, though there were a couple of jokes that were funny and were engaging and effective and did make me laugh. So there's that as well. But yeah, this just wasn't it. I wasn't really digging on this movie. It just kind of came off as like this kind of subpar, mediocre sequel that once again tries to do too much in one film. And honestly, there were times where, especially in regards to the humor, where it felt like something that the Disney Channel would air on Halloween. Like, who wrote these jokes? So wrapping it up, I'm going to go ahead and give Beetlejuice a 5 out of 10. I prefer the original movie from the 80s, which again, I'm not even the biggest fan of to begin with, but that is the better movie. This was just kind of somewhat of a dud. Looks good. Michael Keaton's good in it. But other than, there's not much else to say about it. They don't really elaborate on the characters who return from that original movie. They're pretty much doing what they did in the 80s. So I can't say, oh, Winona Ryder stood out or Catherine O'Hara stood out. Catherine O'Hara got a few more laughs out of me this time around, but she didn't really stand out. The only one who stands out cast wise is definitely Michael Keaton himself, and that's one person. And again, he's just like with that original movie, he's not really front and center for the majority of it. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton's good. Movie looks great, but that's as far as positives go. That's about the only two that stood out to me. But it's not terrible and horrible. I still enjoyed the look. I still like the feel of the underworld. I still like that Danny Elfman soundtrack. And like I said, some of it got laughs out of me. Some of the jokes, some of the humor did land. Um, so it wasn't horrible. Else I would definitely be going lower than 5. So 5 out of 10 for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. This has been another scaring myself shitless Halloween edition of Wave Watches, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.